Hello, my Tuesday King family. How is everybody today? I have to see if I think I do have volume. Sometimes when I see all five circles, I get a little nervous, but I just want to check before I talk for 2 hours and nothing came out. So let's see. So can I hear myself? And answer yes. All right. All good. So as you can see, a refrigerator there. So they came as just as I thought. They got here at 9:05. They called, I'm coming. My bell doesn't work. So they said, we're here. Got the door. They brought it, they took it out of the box. They pulled this one out. They actually put it in the hall as I wanted. And fortunately, you can slide it because it's carpeting. And they put it in the hall, but the hall is not very big. So it's probably good for like two people walking with groceries. And so I told the department, I said, they have maintenance come and get it. They came and I left it in the home because if I'm not home, I don't want anybody coming in. She says, well, there's nobody today, but Monday I'll have it. So I'm actually hearing there's maintenance Monday. So I said, yeah. So I was able to slide it back in. So here I was worried about getting it in the hall and I could have slid it anyway, but you just never know. So anyway, they were nice enough to put it in the hall. You never are sure if they can do it or not, but they did. All for naught. But Monday morning, I will put it out and get rid of it. But you can hear the nice quiet of the new one. I actually opened it and pulled out an ice cube, and I didn't hear this loud fan going. So everything's good. The size is everything I had in that fridge, I put in the new one. The only thing is, if I got a quart, the big gallon of ice cream, I could maybe fit it in. I'd have to stack my ice trays on top of each other and make a little space. But again, I have like 5 packs of chicken and 3 or 4 packs of hamburger in the freezer. You get the 5 ribs or you get the 6 thighs. And they got them on sale, so I pick them up, and so I do that. And anyway, so very happy. Everything's good. We're ending May. We're getting into June soon, which means July means football. Just a second. Ooh, very nice. So we've got gold making a run. No 10 o'clock drop today. That does not happen very often when you actually get this 10 o'clock go. So 45.70 and then basically 76 in silver. Silver we don't even care about. We want it at 1,000, we'll get it. But gold is the key because I do have to sell 1 ounce just to replenish my money, not because I want to, not profit taking. It's just you run out of cash. I've taken all my cash and bought gold and silver with it. So that's the beauty of gold and silver. If I need money, I sell 1 ounce and I'll go to the store, my cold store. So 45, 70, 75, 87. What a happy day. What a happy day. And again, you know how Turkey's selling their gold, I think, obviously paper, so they can buy oil. Well, guess who else is going to probably need to do that, which is the U.S. They're going to have to sell. They're going to have to buy gold because their dollars are worthless. And the dollar has no value. The only thing that's going to is gold and silver, especially if you want to trade with China and Russia. They're not taking dollars. You're not getting out of the debt without with the dollars. And people in the treasuries got to get the hell out. I don't know China what they have. I mean, they used to have like $2 trillion in treasuries, because what happens is when you buy Chinese goods, you get dollars. And what do they do with the dollars? They've been buying treasuries. So has Saudi Arabia and this petrodollar thing, but that's gone. They don't want to buy treasuries. So when they get the US dollars, they're taking them and buying gold with them and silver. That's why the market's so high. The demand is huge for gold. That's why the price is up, not because of the inflation. And so it's the same thing. So China, when they get dollars, are buying gold. That's why they've got 80,000 tons of gold. They keep taking it and buying more and more gold, because to them, the dollar's useless. They don't want to put it in treasuries. In fact, they're getting out of treasuries. So that's what you have. So, silver, 76.11. What a happy time it is. A happy day, May 29th. 76.11 and 45.75. Ooh, this is good, because this is the 10 o'clock drop, but it's not dropping. They are fucking buying it. Here's the 10 o'clock drop. It went from 45.48 to 45.28. So it went down $20. That was your 10 o'clock drop. And now here we go. Hopefully we'll just have a big afternoon and we'll get to 4,700. That would be very nice. And normally I don't worry about this, but I'll have to call my coin store and see what he's buying gold for. It was 97%, and then he's dropped it to 96. No 1099, nothing to worry about. And then there's the other store, and I got to see what they're buying it for, and whatever's best, I'll go to. I don't care. It's all about me, right? Welcome to America. All right. It's a little bit of econ. Let us look at yesterday's baseball. Very frustrating day. I go 2-2 yesterday and one tie, so it was a break-even day. We have the Tigers over 8, and California scores 4 runs in the last 2 innings to get 7-1, and we get a push on that. The Tigers could not hit the weak California pitching. It was amazing. They got like 3 hits. They have no hitters. They're pathetic. They have Ricky Green, who's now starting to go down, and that's it. And this McGonigal's hitting 280 now. He'll be at 240 soon. They'll just learn how to pitch him, and he'll, in the beginning, they didn't know how to pitch him. We have the White Sox. They win 6-2, so we got one winner. We then go Atlanta minus under 7 instead of Atlanta. Boston's pitcher Tolle didn't. He had a good ERA, but he didn't pitch well, obviously. And Chris Sale's won, and so that's the debate I always get into. Do I take Chris Sale, or do I bet the game under when it's another good pitcher? And so I took under instead of Sale. Then I took Scanes, and what the fuck happened to Scanes? They lose 7-2. I don't know if it's all Scanes' fault. And when they score, I think he gave up a few. This is so we lose those 2, and then we win the last one, which is Houston. Hello, where's Houston? Oh, Houston wins 5-1. We have Houston under 7.5. Arrighetti pitched well. So we win the White Sox and Houston under. We lose Atlanta and Pitt, and we push on Detroit. And the frustrating part is it was Chris Sale that we should have won with, and Scanes we lost with. So it's frustrating when you lose with Scanes. But let's look at Scanes. What happened? 7-2 Cubbies. And this is the problem with baseball. You so if we look at Scanes, he pitches He pitches 5 innings, 5 1/3, gives up 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned run. So you get 2 errors that fuck us. And then you get, look at his pitch count. He pitched 103 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. I mean, this is the problem. So we note the teams like the Cubs, they're gonna run pitch counts up. So when they play a good pitcher, it's pointless to play the pitcher or play the under. This is the problem with baseball right now. All of a sudden, the guy should go 8 innings. It's Gaines goes 5 1/3. Then you got reliever Montgomery with a 3-2-2. But here's the problem. The third one, Bedios, pitches 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, and he's got a 4.50 ERA. Look at Gaines. Gaines has a 2.89 ERA up top, and then you're bringing in the relievers 4.50, 4.88, and they give up 4 runs. And that's what kills your totals, and that's what kills your bets are these long. He pitches 103 pitches, and he can't even go 6 innings. And so this is basically how you lose with Gaines. He just, did he walk in? He had 3 walks, 10 strikeouts. What can you say? All you can do is bet them. They were at home, which doesn't really mean much in baseball. Home field's more in basketball than anything. So anyway, that new fridge is so quiet. It was worth $339 to get it, and then at no delivery. Maynard's would have been $489. This was $339, and they took it in, plugged it in, and there it goes. It was already set, so it's perfect. And they were very nice. They called, okay, we're on it, we'll be here. Then they called and they were here. The stupid buzzer still doesn't work here. I've complained on that a couple of times. All right, back to this. So this is the problem. But if we look at Chris Sale, with Chris Sale, he goes 5 innings, gives up 6 hits and 2 runs, and he pitches 96 pitches in 5 innings. So this is the problem. And really, the reason he won is they got a 5 runs in the 6th inning. I'm noticing there'll be zeros and then a 6. Zeros here and then a 5. And then you get that. So you get a 5-run, a 6-run inning, 8-run inning, a 4-run inning, and that's it. And then it's nothing. So the relievers do well when they come in, it seems like, because they only pitch to 3 guys. They come in, pitch that inning, but if they are bad here, they gave up 5 runs. It's probably the same pitcher. Okay, let's take a look at the matchups. I've already emailed my picks to my customers. $25 for a week of baseball. I'd be signing up if I wasn't the handicapper. All right, so now we've got switches. We've got teams moving around. We got different matchups for the week. So let's go to covers. We got Atlanta at Cincinnati. We got Atlanta minus 131, 9.5. And we've got Grant Holmes, 381 against Paddock with a 7.75 ERA. So the total is 9.5. Now, I'm going to show you something because this is a class and you're my pupils. And this is something very unique. And we're really digging into the analytics here. I don't like using that term. We're analyzing the picks. This is like we're in the 5th dimension here, right? So we've gone to the Twilight Zone level to analyze a game. And here it is. This is the pitcher, Paddock. But what do we notice here? He loses 8-1, 7-4, 7-2, 5-4, 5-3, 6-3, 2-0. He only has won one game. So since March 30th, he's 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, 1-5, 1-6. He's 1-8. He's on a 2-4-7 game losing streak himself. This is a fifth dimensional way to look at it. So you're looking at the pitcher's losing streak of 7 games. And then we look at Grant Holmes, and he's okay. He's solid 3.81. This Paddock 7.75, but he loses. So bet Atlanta tonight because Holmes is pretty good, not great, but Paddock loses every game. Yeah, Atlanta's 131, 9.5. Atlanta just beat the shit out of Boston with Chris Sale. So this is not your free pick. This is just an analytical pick. This is the Cincinnati pitcher can't win. He's 1-8 on the year. So we are on a 7-game losing streak. So we're actually going way deep to get the look at the pitcher's streak, and he's terrible. So go Atlanta, 2 units, but that's not your free pick. I got a better one. But because you're in class, you get this pick. Pittsburgh minus 132.8, and they're hosting Minnesota. Interesting. The Vikings, Steelers, Super Bowl, whatever, 8, or Super Bowl 9. And we got Bradley for Minnesota, 277 against Jay Jones, 0 for Pitt. I looked, he hasn't pitched at all. Pitt's 29-28, and Minnesota's 27-30. They're not bad. Everybody thinks that the American League Central is such a bad league. And like Cleveland's good. The White Sox are good. Minnesota's good. Kansas City's a little weak. But the worst team in that division is Detroit by a mile. So it's funny how all the Detroit guys say, well, we're in the worst league. Nobody's good in here. And I'm going, well, wait, Minnesota's good. The White Sox are good. And Cleveland's good. The bad team is Detroit. And all these guys on the radio yesterday, well, Butch, are we still rooting for the Tigers, or is the season over? And he's crying, and you're like, oh my God, they stink. They have a minor league batting order. They have like one hitter, and then they have very weak pitching. When Joe Flaherty's your pitcher, I mean, you're going to 43-year-old Verlander who's gone. Yeah, it's not 2006 anymore. And then it's Scooble's injured. Casey Mize just got injured, so he's out. You're leaning on Joe Flaherty and the other idiot. Bunch of chuckleheads. So it's a terrible team. Who thinks it's good? Anyway. So that's what we have. Now, the problem with this game is Jones, the pitcher of Pittsburgh, we have no record on. He could be Sandy Koufax. He could be Bill Koufax. Yes, we don't know who Bill Koufax is. So we don't know how good he is. Bradley looks good for Minnesota with the 277. Total of 8. You can't play total because Bradley looks like it'll be low scoring, but Pitt can hit. Pitt's got a lot of hitting. Minnesota, some. You don't know what Minnesota's going to do to Jones. So if Jones has a 6 ERA, we're going to bet Minnesota, but we don't know what it is. So if you want to be, you can either go Minnesota, but be careful. Not that Jones is any good. He might only go 2-3 innings and go to the bullpen, but there's too much unknown here. All right. San Diego, Washington. We got Washington minus 110 and 9.5. We got Gio Lotto, 2.7 for San Diego against Paula Schultz from Kill Bill number 2 with a 0 ERA. And she is bullpen guy. Yeah. So Paula Schultz is bullpen. So that doesn't help us at all. And Giolito with a 2.7 for San Diego. Now, how do these bullpen days, even if I analyze the bullpen days, it doesn't matter. It depends on what happened the day before. Who of the bullpen are you pulling out? Who's coming in the second, third, fourth, and fifth inning? Like they bring in a starter who can't start for 4 innings. So this is the problem here. And all we can do is go, yeah, I'm going to pass. Now, I haven't checked streaks, but I will. Well, the only streak I know is that the Dodgers are on a win streak and Colorado's on a losing streak because they just played each other. So, all right. Toronto and Baltimore. Baltimore 109, 8.5. A macro for Toronto with a 0 ERA goes against Trevor Rogers of Baltimore with a 7.07 ERA. And again, these first 4 or 5 games, I'm just scratching my head going, how the fuck do I bet them when I don't? The pitchers are all Adam Macko from Bratislava. Oh, he's from Eurotrip. This is the guy probably from Eurotrip at the club. He owns the nightclub. I've never seen a guy from Bratislava in playing professional sports. All right, game logs. Let's see. He's a reliever. Adam Macko is a reliever. And actually, he does have a 0 ERA. He's pitched in 6 games since May 18th. So he just came up the last week. He's given up a few hits and no runs, and the most he's pitched is 1 inning. A lot of 1/10 of an innings and 2/10, a third of an inning, 2/3 of an inning. So what do we do with Macro? It's a bullpen guy who's coming in the game. Too much unknown. Trevor Rogers 7.07. Let's see if Trevor Rogers is like the other guy who can't win. The guy on whoever Atlanta's playing. Trevor Rogers game logs. And he goes, geez, an inning and 2/3, but he gave up 4 hits and 3 runs. So he's actually a starter, but he doesn't go too far. Now he's lost 2, 4, 6. He won his first 3, and he's lost his last 6. So here another 6-game losing streak going against the bullpen guy. How the fuck do you bet this game? So maybe you take Toronto. Is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. out? I thought he got hit or hurt or something. We'll have to check the lineup. What are you going to do with this game? You got a pitcher with a 7 ERA. I suppose your best chance is a total bet. But I can't tell you. Macko's for 1 inning. Macko's pitching the first inning, and then you're going to get who? And that's the problem. So again, a game you got to watch. It's not a good bet. We don't know. It's like Mahomes is questionable until game time. Well, we ran into that with our Utah guy, Cam Rising. How many times did we Cam Rising? Well, it's a game time decision, and the guy wasn't going to play. But I'll bet it if Cam Rising plays. So very difficult. Cleveland and Boston. I still haven't. I've gotten to the one pick I've done is Atlanta, and it's like crazy. So who's Atlanta playing? Cincinnati. So this guy Paddock. So we'll put it Paddock on Cincy. Bet against. He's on a 7-game losing streak. But the others, there's nothing you can do. You got these new pitchers. Boston, Cleveland. We got a new pitcher. We got Cleveland 122-8. Ciccone for Cleveland with a 5-2-1 against Samaniego, another 0. So another guy that hasn't from Huntsville, Alabama. I'm really going to hate this guy. He's actually, yes, he has pitched. He does not have a 0 ERA. He's a bullpen guy. How can he have a 0 ERA? He's given up 2 runs, then another run, and then another run. So maybe in 9 innings, he's given up 4 runs. He's got a 4 ERA. So no, he's not a 0. Sassoni is a 5.21. Let's see if Sassoni's won any games. Now I'm curious. I found my new little pet peeve here about the pitcher. No, he's actually good. He lost 5 in a row, then he won 4 in a row, and then he just lost to Philly. So he was on a hot streak. It's always about streaks. All right. So again, there's nothing I can do. I got bullpen. I got Cleveland as a good team, but I got this shit pitcher who was pitching pretty good, even against Philly. So I think he's getting better than his 5.21. And Cleveland's got a good bullpen. But again, what am I going to do with this bullpen games? Miami and the Mets. The Mets 112, 7.5. Mike Myers, 2.55 ERA goes against Freddie Peralta, 3.54 ERA. All right. What is our free play? That's our free play. I found our free play, but we haven't gotten there yet. All right. California at Tampa. We got Tampa minus 153 and a total of 8. Urena against Nick Martinez. Urena 275. Nick Martinez 153. Tampa Bay's 34-19. California 22-35. Let's look at Urena 275. Is that real? Walbert Urena from the Dominican Republic. Now he's a 5-inning guy. He started like 2/3 of an inning, then an inning, then 6-3, 5-6, 5-6, 5. He's pitching pretty decently. And then we've got Nick Martinez, 1.53 ERA. And this guy is for real. And when I looked at the worst game he had is he gave up 2 runs to Pitt in a 5-1 loss. Otherwise, 1 run, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. He actually pitched 9 innings against the Yankees. No, he pitched 6 innings. He gave up 9 hits. Okay, so he's normally 6, 7. He did pitch an 8-inning game to Cincinnati where he gave up 5 hits and 1 run. And that's impressive against Cincy. So this guy really is really strong as far as that. So I'm going to give this as my free pick. Take Tampa, lay the 153. God, it was 175. Tampa minus 153. And we're going to go 2 units. I just like Tampa. I like this pitcher. And California's pretty weak hitting, and Urena is a 5-inning guy. And, they beat the Tigers, but that's a minor league team. I just think Tampa at home, strong team. So go 2 units, free pick, take Tampa. We're betting on Nick Martinez and his 153, and it's a legitimate 10-game 153. They're at home. Urena is pretty good. It would probably be a 3-4, 4-1 game. Probably a low-scoring game. But Tampa can hit pretty good. All right. The Cubbies go to St. Louis. Now, they won their last 2 against the Steelers, so here come the Cardinals. I can't use the Cardinals. That's their baseball name. It's funny how the Cardinals were the baseball and the football name for the St. Louis. All right. Chicago minus 123-8. They have won 2 in a row now. So they win 10 in a row, win 10 in a row, lose 10 in a row. Now win 2. Here we go again. Managa with the 4.08 ERA goes against Palantine with the 3.76. I don't know either pitcher. The Cubs are starting to play better. Cardinals can hit, so this should be a pretty good game. Our favorite team, the Tigers, the minor league team in Detroit, 111, actually is favored, 111, 8.5. Todd Melton with the 1.8, never heard of the guy, against Eisert for the White Sox, and he's a bullpen guy. Yeah, he's a 1-inning guy. So what does that leave us? We know the White Sox have that great hitter on it. But I don't know enough about this Melton to really play him. So again, this is 2 pitchers, bullpen day. See, I prefer betting on Chris Sale and Scanes, and if we win, we win, but it's a good bet. And this is why the bullpens are so big. I got a feeling that if I'm Scanes yesterday, instead of pitching 100 pitches in 6 innings, I'm just going to hit the guys. Because these guys can go 10 pitch at bats on you, 4 or 5 of them. That's 50 pitches, and you haven't done anything. So very difficult. But I got to take this 100 pitch count off and make it 150. Then if you want to 10 pitch my guy, you're not getting rid of him until the 8th inning. He's got to go 7, 8 innings. You can't hit 10 foul balls to get him out of the lineup. And he's done for 4 days anyway. So you might as well pitch him. 150 pitches. It's not going to affect him. All these guys getting injured is not because they're pitching more than 100 pitches. Scooble hurts his elbow. I don't know what did he throw? 10 pitches? I mean, it wasn't, it was the 3rd inning. So it's not, the 100 is not the key. The 5 days is not, it's not the rest, it's their overthrowing. So this is a game I cannot play. Detroit cannot hit. So if I am to guess this game, which I don't like doing, I am handicapping, not guessing. I would say the White Sox will win this game like 5-1. They can hit, and Detroit can't. Detroit can't score. They couldn't score yesterday against a bum for California. They're not going to score at Chicago. The White Sox are the better team. I think the White Sox win this game, but I'm not playing it because I don't know who Elsert is, and I don't want to bet the bullpen day. KC at Texas. Texas minus 123, 7.5. Kolick. Never heard of him. 2.77 with KC against Mackenzie Gore. I have heard of. 4.42 for Texas. Let's look at Kolick. Who the hell was Stephen Kolick from Houston? Oh, a Texas A&M guy. He's pitched 4 games. And he's pitched 6 innings. He actually pitched 9 innings on a 4-hit shutout. So the first game he gave up 3 runs. The second he gave up 5. And then he's 6 innings, 4-hit shutout, and 9 innings, 4-hit shutout. That was against Seattle. So this guy's pretty good, but it's only 4 games. And the first, he lost to the White Sox 6-5, giving up 5 hits, 5 runs. And gives up 6 innings, 4 hits, and has lost to Cleveland. So he beat St. Louis and Seattle. So that's good. The St. Louis game was there, and then he lost at home to Seattle. And then we have Mackenzie Gore. Let's see how bad he is. So I like Kolick too early. It's only 4 games, and it's only really two good games. And let's see how Mackenzie Gore's doing. Well, he's not. He hasn't lost 9 games in a row. Geez, what happened against Colorado? 1 inning gives up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, and they pulled him. Otherwise, he's pitched 8 and 6 and 5s. So he's a 5-6. He's a pretty bad pitcher. Now I'm curious to go into the pitcher's log to see if they're on a 7-8 game losing streak. Gore's not. So this would be a KC play if Kolek had pitched 10 games, but he had 2 good games. He's a righty. I don't know. I don't know totals. Nothing there. Milwaukee and Houston. I have played 7 games today. I don't know how I found them because this is ridiculous. Milwaukee minus 105, 8.5. We got Crow for Milwaukee 270 against Tang for Houston 265. This seems like an underplay, but let's who the hell's Crow and Tang? Coleman Crow from Georgia, good old boy, probably on the Dogs. He's pitched 2 games, 5 innings, gave up a few runs. So that's who Crow is. You can't look at his 2.7 ERA in 2 games. Pitched 5 innings, he's given up 3 runs. And then we got Tang for Houston. K-Wei Tang from Taiwan. He's probably into the microchip business. Back home, he's pitched a lot of bullpen. No, he's not a bullpen guy. His last 3 games, 6 innings, 5 innings, 3 innings, and then it was 2-1, 3, a 10th, 2 2 2/3, 2 2. So maybe he's starting now. I don't buy his ERA of 2.65. So here's a misleading one. If you looked at this game based on ERAs, he's I'm going to bet it under. I don't think so. So this is again Crow, no idea, Georgia guy, and Tang. He's into microchips at Taiwan. Where do you get a guy from Taiwan playing professional baseball? They're all making microchips. Are you kidding me? How did China let him out? So I don't know. These ERAs are bullshit. But I don't know the teams hitting, and we'll have to take a look at the box score tomorrow and see how many hitters do these teams have. And again, these are both righties. So this is the left-handed lineup with these guys. Like I said, there's 10 lineups. You got 5 starters, and then either they're righty or they're lefty. All right, the 49ers go to Denver and play the Broncos. We have the 49ers minus 143, 10.5. Montana must be quarterbacking tonight. L. Webb, a 5.06 ERA against Lorenzen, a 7.44 ERA. Geez, I didn't play this game either. Seems like should get a lot of scoring. The Niners, sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. Colorado has not been hitting the way they have. At first glance, yeah, this isn't over. But I'm not really trusting. I'm going to write it down, but I'm not really trusting over 10.5. I'm not really trusting the hitting on the team. Here's where you do look at the hitting. Lorenzo, 7.44 ERA for Colorado means the Niners should get at least 5-6 runs in the 4 innings that this guy's going to pitch. What is he doing in the major leagues? Anyway, so this looks like an over, but I got to see the batting. The Yankees go to Oakland to play the A's. The Yankees minus 133, 9.5. Rodon, a 4.15 ERA against Severino, 4.28, who has pitched decently lately, although he lost his last one. So let's look at Severino. Rodon, not that good. He's from Dominican Republic, and he's pitched a lot. And he's a starter, 5 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings. He's given up 5 runs twice, 4 runs twice. Gave up 2 runs to California. So he's pretty good. Rodon, I know, is not that good. He got crushed the last time. The Yankees are 34-22, and Oakland 27-29. Oakland's not that bad, so you're not just taking the Yankees because Oakland's bad. Rodon's tough bet. Severino can pitch, but he's given up a lot, so we'll see what to do with that one. Arizona goes to Seattle. Seattle 135-7. We got Zach Gallen 4.83 against General George Kirby of Commando with the 3.57 ERA. Did I play this game? Yes, I did. Okay. So Gallen's a 4.83, struggling. Kirby 3.57. I don't understand the 7 ERA. I think that's a little, or 7 over under in the game. I think that's really low. Philadelphia and the Dodgers. This is your second free play. The Dodgers minus 113. And there you have it. Okay, let's break this game down. So the Dodgers 113 and a total of 8. We got Zach Wheeler with a 1.70, and I've heard of him, against Robleski with a 2.82 ERA, and I've heard of him. Now we add Robleski's a lefty, which is going to give Schwarber and Bryce Harper a little hard time. Zach Wheeler 170 is going to give all the Dodger righties a hard time. Total of 8. We are going under 8. This is 3 units. And the Dodgers have been playing. They haven't hit. They don't get 20 runs a game. They won 4-0 or 3-1. They do get the big runs, but I don't think against Philly. I think this game is a very big series. Anytime you get Philly and the Lakers, Philly and the Dodgers, the Eagles and the Rams, it's just a very poetic 2-city games. I think 8's a little high. When I look at a 1.70 and a 2.82, where are you going to get the runs from? Now, the question becomes this, let's 100 pitch them in 5 innings. And that's really where the problem is going to be. If they can get through 3 innings in the 30s, then that's fine. But if they sit there and try to get, 10 hit at bats, so this is the problem with baseball right there. A 10 pitch at bat. I got the Tiger guy saying the guy ends up walking on like 12 pitches, and he's got the nerve to say it was a good at bat because he made the guy pitch 12 pitches. That's a good at bat. You mean a home run's not a good at bat? So if he hits the first pitch for a home run, that's a bad at bat. So baseball's so screwed up that they think a good at bat is a 10 pitch at bat. The problem is the Tigers can't hit anyway. They have 7 guys hitting under 210. So the only way they can win is to draw walks because they can't hit. And it's pathetic, that team. But that's what they do. A good at bat is get a 10 pitch at bat. For the Tigers is considered a hit, I guess. Even if they strike out, it's still a good. You wasted the guy 10 pitches. And this is the whole problem with the sport. So the starters really can only pitch 5, like Scanes, 5-6 innings. Then you got bullpen, so you're not getting your best pitchers out, and they're getting to the bullpen. And this is the problem. And then the bullpen, they can't pitch every day. Oh my God. So you have the bullpen pitching, in a regular series, they'll pitch 1 inning. I mean, it's so fake because you'll pull a guy, pitch the 7th inning against the bottom of the order, and he gets it out 1, 2, 3, and you go, wow, what a great pitcher. No, he pitched to the bottom of the order. He pitched to the 180, 160, and 140 batters, and he got them out. Oh, geez, he's amazing. But he doesn't come out for the next inning. And then you got another pitcher come out for the middle of the order, and it's just ridiculous. If they're even smart enough to do that, I think most of these managers, well, it's the 7th inning. He's my 7th inning guy, and here's the 8th inning, and here's my 8th inning guy. Yeah, but the eighth inning has the middle of the lineup. You want your best pitcher pitching the eighth inning, not necessarily pitching the ninth inning against the bottom of the order. So this is all manager problems that they're just so stupid, like monkeys could manage. Okay, it's 90 pitches, and the little monkey goes out and says, okay, you got to come out. It's 90 pitches. And then, oh, there's a lefty at bat. We got to go to the lefty, and he pitches, and then now here comes a righty, and we got to bring out the righty, and basically a chimp can manage these guys. The Tiger guy, he pinches the 300 guy with the guy hitting 057 because he's right-handed. Jesus Christ. So the only reason Houston won the World Series with this clown is because they were stealing signs, thanks to Altuve. And then he acted like he didn't know about it. Oh, I didn't know. When I heard them banging the garbage can, I had no idea what that was for. Bullshit. Anyway, so this is your free play. This is also 3 units, but we got to be careful. The Dodgers, we know, can score. And stop pitching Shotani down low. He hits like a golfer. You got to keep the ball high on him. I don't know why it's so hard to figure that out. Anyway, Zach Wheeler, 170. This looks like the game of the day. The Wheeler we know, Roblisky we know, both ERAs very low. And the total is not 6 or 7, it's actually 8. So go under Philly Dodgers. There was one that was 6, but I think they refreshed it. Yeah, I don't see a 6 anymore. Or maybe it was an 8, and I thought it was a 6. Yeah, okay. So go Philly, under 8, and I'm giving you Tampa, minus 153 for 2 units. Go and enjoy, eat good. And that is today's baseball. Very difficult. See, you don't have enough data when these new guys come in and he's pitched 2 games, or the bullpen guy comes in and he's only going to pitch 1 inning. And now you're blinded by who's coming in after him. And why isn't the starter starting? We got lucky yesterday. I think it was Ferris Bueller was pitching, or somebody like that with a real bad 6.7 ERA. No, it wasn't Ferris. It was somebody else. Anyway, he's not a good pitcher, but we saw him, so we made the bet, and then a reliever came in the first inning, and then he came in for 3 or 4 innings, and he gave up his 5 runs. But we saw that he was going to be the pitcher, so we bet against. I think it was the White Sox game. We bet against them, and they won easy. So keep that in mind. All right. So that's today's games. Philly under 8, Tampa Bay are your 2 free plays. Again, $25. You get everything. For the whole week, you get all these picks. I'm even yesterday. I had +7. I had +10. I had +5, and I had +2, and I had a -5, 523 because of the breaking all the streaks. So 1 bad day out of 5. You'd have made some money. All right, let's look at any new streaks. The Yankees are on a 4-game winning streak. Tampa's on a 4-game losing streak. Ooh, I gave Tampa out. Whoops. Well, we'll see. And that's it. So Tampa on a 4-gamer. Well, still bet Tampa. I like their pitcher. And again, this is the problem when you have a 5-man rotation. The other pigs might have lost, but now you're betting on the ace, Martinez. And I think we go with these streaks after 6 games. because I don't think you can go like 4 games if the ace is there. Now, like Skeins, if Pittsburgh loses 4 and Skeins has just lost, then we can go against the Pirates. But we can't. If Skeins hasn't pitched, we still got to bet Skeins. National League. Philly on a 3-game win streak. Go to the Dodgers. Interesting. Milwaukee on a 3-game win streak. We'll keep an eye on it. St. Louis on a 4-game losing streak. The Dodgers are on a 5-game win streak. But we didn't play the game. We played the total. So we went under 8. So it doesn't matter. The Dodgers can win 1-0. We don't care. Arizona's on a 5-game winning streak. And the San Diego's on a 4-game losing streak. And Colorado's on a 5. So Colorado still on the 5-gamer. The Dodgers still on the 5-game winning streak. Arizona's still on their 5-game. So the Dodgers in Arizona and Colorado's on a 5-game losing streak, and then San Diego with a 4-game losing streak. So that's what we got. So it's basically the Dodgers in Arizona bet against Colorado that are even 5-game, but I'm not playing the Dodgers against Philly. Who is Arizona playing? I don't know if I didn't bet Arizona. Oh, Arizona starts against Cincinnati. And I didn't play that one because I don't know who the pitchers are. Okay. Let's go to the NBA. So now we've got, it's tomorrow. Okay. So we actually won yesterday with San Antonio -3.5. How about that? So San Antonio wins 118-91. We're laying 3.5. This is how you bet it. San Antonio had to win. They lose, the series is over. Oklahoma didn't have to win. Even with the loss, they're now going home for game 7, and they have that in their pocket. So they know, well, we can lose, and it's no big deal. San Antonio, no, we can't lose, and we're at home. And that's the whole thesis of how to bet NBA basketball. The team that has to win is at home. They're not losing. So we hit Oklahoma game 5 because they had to win. And San Antonio is going to be eliminated if they lose and they win. Now we come to tomorrow. San Antonio at Oklahoma. Oklahoma -3.5, 212. What was the score yesterday? 118-91. So it's 219, I think. It's funny. The total was 219.5, and they played a 219. 10-1 is 0. No, they played a 209. Okay, not a 2. So they played an under there. 209. Okay. So that was a low scoring game. Let's look at the game Tuesday at Oklahoma, 127-114. You can see Oklahoma at home, 127, on the road, 91. So I think we're looking at a higher scoring game on Saturday. It's a 212 because Oklahoma's scorers don't play as well on the road, and San Antonio's do. But when you get to Oklahoma, Oklahoma's bench plays much better. They're role players. What do we do with this? Oklahoma laying 3.5, game 7. What the hell do we do with it? Clearly an even series. Both teams have to win now. Nobody's walking in. We can lose and be okay, like yesterday. Very tough game. The spread won't matter. 3.5. There's no. It doesn't. It's just pick the winner. So do we think the refs are going to call home field, and is Oklahoma going to Winnebago is going to be tough. He's banging out 3-point shots. What the hell is the 7'4" guy shooting 3-point shots for? Get under the basket. Could you imagine Kareem shooting 3-point shots? Lanier, Bill Walton, Wilt. I bet Wilt would never take a 3-point shot. No, they belong under the basket. That's the point. The taller guys fit under the basket. They can block. Just get them the ball. They're going to dunk. Why the hell would you be shooting 3-point? I noticed he did that. I don't know. I got to think on this one. I guess it's who has the better defense. They're perfectly even as far as teams, right? So it's Team A and Team B are even. Oklahoma will have the edge being at home. San Antonio has the edge with Winnebago. Oklahoma, Shea, I don't know. He's okay. He's not the MVP in the league. That's a joke. Winnebago is much better than him. If you had a team, who would you want, Winnebago or Shea? I'd take Winnebago. He's more in basketball. 7'4" guy is much more dominant than a 6'7" or 6'8" guy. So I will get back to that tomorrow. Game's not till tomorrow. All right, now let's have some fun with football. We know the schedule has come out. So your free play in baseball, Philly under 8, take Tampa. And we don't know yet in basketball, but we've been hot. We won the Knicks, Oklahoma, and San Antonio. So finally picking my baskets. All right, week 1, NFL. These are my lines. I know I read you the lines yesterday. I don't remember them, and I don't want to. I want my lines. We start off with a Wednesday game, New England. I believe this is at Seattle. The only game I know out is the 49ers and the Rams. All right, I got Seattle lane 3. I got Drake May against Darnell, and I don't have Kenneth Walker anymore. Very tough game here. We'll see. Seattle's not going to be they're not going to be the same. The question is, how good's Drake May? I'm not sure he's all that. So, both quarterbacks are overrated, but we'll see. Then we got a Thursday game, the 49ers at the Rams. Well, not at the Rams. It's at Australia. The Good Day Mate people. Kangaroos will be maybe the Kangaroos will play at halftime. We got Brock Purdy against Stafford. Big edge to Stafford. LA -4. This is a tough one. You've got jet lag. You're flying all the way to fucking Australia. What is that? Which I think is actually on the Pacific side. It's near Japan. So you're going to fly through California, not through New York to get there. So it might not be as bad of a time thing, which is probably why it's 49ers and the Rams there. The 49ers, all new defense. We don't know what they got. They got Purdy. They got McCaffrey. Who's their receivers? And the defense, the Rams did pick up some defense in the draft. The Niners picked up a lot of defense in the draft, but they're rookies. They don't know what they're doing. So I think the Rams are, and again, these are not real picks because these are not, you got to go through preseason and injuries. If Stafford gets hurt, no, it's not a pick. So these are just thoughts right now, right? I'm molding the clay. Tampa Bay goes to Cincinnati. This is Sunday. We got the Baker against the Burrow, and we like the Burrow. Cincinnati, I have 3 over Tampa in what should be a high-scoring game. Tampa, the Baker can score. Now, they lost Evans, so we got to see who they picked up. They picked up somebody in the draft, I think. Cincinnati, Burrow, and Chase, that's all you need. Good luck stopping them. Probably 4 touchdowns at least for them too. And but their defense, I don't know. Now Burrow said this is his best team he's seen, and he had whatchamacallit on it, Haydenson on it. So we will see what they have, but there'll be plenty of points here. This is Tampa Bay's not stopping Burrow. Okay, New Orleans goes to Detroit. I got Detroit -6. Um, again, good offense, no defense. I got Tyler Shaw against Golf. Golf choke. Golf's very, if they put pressure on him, look for New Orleans to play pretty well. I think this is probably an over game if we get a decent total. Uh, Lions laying 6. It's about what it should be. Against New Orleans. Are they I think they're better than they show. They played pretty well at the end last year. I like Kellen Moore from Boise, and Detroit just doesn't have a defense. New Orleans, Kamara and Olave still have some talent there. So I don't know. I don't know if we can trust Detroit to win the game. So it could be a New Orleans play, and it's definitely going to be an overplay. The Jets go to Tennessee. We got Cam Ward, and I don't know who the Jets quarterback's going to be. If they even have anybody. Tyrod Taylor or what? Who's going to be it? Cam Ward, he stinks. I got Tennessee 3 over the Jets because they're at home. You got to play the dog in this game. As bad as the Jets are, is as bad as Tennessee is. Tennessee's not, can't beat anybody. And Shala, like, what's he doing? He goes to the Jets, goes back to the Niners, and now goes to Tennessee. Like, that's the place to be. So I'm shocked Shala didn't just stay with the Niners. I think he tries too much to be a friend to the players, and you can't be a friend of the players. You got to be like Lombardi, Bill Walsh, Bill Parcells. You tell them what's going on. You yell at them, but it's what's best for the team. So I think the Jets is this is their one chance for a win this year. If Tennessee wins, it'll be close. Who can they beat? Name their running back for me, please. Baltimore goes to Indy. We got Lamar against, I assume, Daniel Jones, but that's what we'll find out. I got Baltimore 3 over Indy. New coach. I have no idea. We know Lamar sucks. We know Henry's their offense. We know Indy plays better at home, and with Taylor, he runs well. He'll be healthy. If Jones and Taylor are healthy, they'll give Baltimore all they want. Baltimore, do they have a defense? They didn't get Crosby. They got Hendrickson or whatever. Was he going to try? He didn't try with Joe Burrow where he actually had a chance. So I don't see him trying. So I don't know. I'm not sold that Baltimore's all that, especially with Lamar, as we've seen several times. He'll struggle. He'll have 2 interceptions in this game. Indy plays much better at home. Atlanta goes to Pittsburgh. We got Penix, maybe, against Aaron Rodgers, maybe. So we're not sure the quarterbacks. We got Pitt. I got lane 3 to Atlanta. It's about right. Their defense, okay. TJ Watt. Their offense, did they let the receiver go? DK Metcalf, is he still there? Where is he? And then you assume Aaron Rodgers to be playing. Atlanta, very good defense. And with Penix, they'll be fine. They don't have Kirk Cousins anymore. He's on Oakland. So I don't know who they're going to start without if Penix doesn't go. Isn't this where Tagliabue went, I think? Or did he go to Cleveland or wherever the fuck? The Bears go to Carolina. Caleb against Young. Young stinks. Caleb's not much better. The Bears, I got 3-point favorites on the road. And what do you do with this game? And this is a tough game. Carolina is not very good. We know Steve Young's not very good. The real Steve Young's not that good either. He cost them a 3-peat. The Bears, they run it down your throat. They did win at Philly. They did beat Green Bay, and then they choked against the Rams. They had the game won, and Caleb threw another interception, 3 for the game. So don't be all sold on Caleb. He throws a lot of bad interceptions. He runs around his playground play. He runs around and throws a pass because the defender got behind the defense, which isn't really, that wasn't the play, right? So I don't know. I think the Bears are going to run it down there. I think the running game of the Bears wins. It's like Seattle. It's not Darnell that won it. It was Kenneth Walker. And now you lost Kenneth Walker. Now if you got to go to Darnell, you're in big trouble. And the same thing here. If you got to go to Caleb, they'll win because they run it very good. So I think the Bears are the play there. Cleveland, Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I got 6. They are at home. We got Trevor Lawrence against, I don't know, maybe Deshaun Watson. Do we trust him? Dylan Gabriel or Prime Jr.? Oh my God, Prime Jr. is terrible. So we don't know the quarterback. We'll find that out in preseason, I guess. Trevor Lawrence is just a running quarterback. So we really have to see. I got Jacksonville laying 6 because they're at home in Cleveland. Who knows what they have? So Cleveland will probably be a very bad team again. Deshaun Watson has showed he's not a good quarterback, and Dylan Gabriel is probably their best. Do I take Jacksonville here? Maybe. At home to win, maybe, but I don't love that. Buffalo goes to Houston. Josh Allen against C.J. Stroud, a huge edge for Josh Allen. Buffalo, I have 3 points over Houston. You can't lay much more than that at Houston. Number 1 defense, Houston. Right up there with Denver's, right up there with Seattle's, right up there with Philadelphia's. Allen will have a decent day, and then the key is going to be Houston, how bad C.J. Stroud looks, how many interceptions he throws against a weak Buffalo defense. Houston, you got to look at under every game because they're just going to dominate you defensively, and they can't do shit on offense. Buffalo can score. So if Houston's favorite, I'm taking Buffalo, but as of now, Buffalo's a 3. And I don't know if I can take Houston. Might be a good home dog and or an under. We got to see what the total is. Miami goes to Oakland. Miami, I have 3-point favorite, and I don't know why. We've got Willis from Green Bay. They picked up from Tennessee against, I'm assuming Mendoza will start, even though he shouldn't. This should be Kirk Cousins, as bad as he is. You just can't start a rookie week 1. So we'll see how much time he gets in preseason, Mendoza. He should play at least the first quarter in all 3 of the games, of the preseason games. If you don't play him and you're afraid of injury, you're probably in the wrong sport. Go to tennis, go to golf, go to another sport. He needs playing time, real playing time. You've got to play him in the preseason, not these practice shits. So we'll keep an eye on the preseason. I like Oakland as a home dog here. Miami laying 3. Who are they going to beat? All they got is Acne, the running back, and the receiver's gone. Tyreek Hill. They don't have a defense. They don't have a coach. Oakland, we got a new coach. This is what the Seattle offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, I don't remember. Yeah, when you let Coach Pete go, you're not getting in a better coach than Coach Pete. So I just think Oakland at home in the first game will be a live dog. I mean, they do play Denver and Kansas City pretty well. It's sort of like the Big Ten, here's Purdue, but they do play Notre Dame and Ohio State and Michigan. And so they get into one of these lesser teams, the Louisvilles or North Carolina State. And you go, well, they do play Ohio State. They do play some good teams. I found that last year. I was betting on Purdue a little bit because they had changed the coach and their quarterback was pretty good. They still suck, but they were much better. Real big game here. Green Bay at Mini. I got Green Bay -3. Love against, I'm assuming Kyler Murray will be the starter because you didn't bring him in. And we've seen J.J. McCarthy, and he's stuck. He sucked at Michigan. He sucks here. How they drafted him in the 8th pick of the first round. What a fucking joke that was. I mean, they need to fire their GM because they don't know how to spot talent. Whoever made that pick needs to go if you're going to do that. Now, bringing in Kyler Murray, who apparently is 5'9", which is too small for Daggio, but okay for Kyler Murray and Steve Young. I didn't hear anybody say how small they were until Daggio's there. He's fast, but that's not going to help him here because whatchamacallit, what's our guy? I always have trouble with him. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is faster than Kyler Murray, so not going to help there. Love, average, has bad games. You know, they all make good throws once in a while. It's when the pressure comes, they don't win. They throw the interception, like Caleb. Had the Rams, had that miracle touchdown at the end, and then what does he do? They're driving, he throws the interception. And then the Rams play Seattle instead of the Bears. That's why I tell you who's good quarterbacks and who aren't. When the pressure's on, he's throwing interceptions, is not a good quarterback, and you cannot bet on him. Stafford wins the games. Burrow wins the games. Mahomes, Bo Nix. The game's close like that at the end, they're going to march you down and score and win the game. Joe Montana. Can't forget that Cincinnati Super Bowl. That's the difference. Who do you want to bet on? You do not want to bet on Caleb to win the game for you, but you do bet as long as the running attack's going. So Love against Murray, it's a pretty even one. Minnesota's got Justin Jefferson, who will be the best player on the field, better than Micah Parsons. But Micah Parsons will be the best defensive player. So I don't know. Murray will run around. He'll hit Jefferson. I'm sure Jefferson's happy to get a real quarterback, although I don't know how strong Murray is. But Love is bad news, and they keep drafting receivers. So apparently they keep wasting draft picks on receivers. Love was a mistake. He was not a first-round pick either. Neither of these teams know how to draft. I don't know. This seems like maybe a dog, Minnesota with getting 9. Total-wise, maybe an under with Micah Parsons basically controlling the game. So I don't know. We got to see what the lines are. I will throw in my ending totals for defense and my beginning and my ending rankings. So we'll look at A team, Z team, and we'll look at the defensive numbers. I think that's all we can do how do we rank the team? Well, okay, they were the Lions, we had a 30 defense at the end. Well, we're going to give them a 30 defense to start. Didn't get any better. It's probably worse. You've lost linebacker Anzalone. Your secondary is shredded with injuries. You don't come back from an Achilles right away, and the other guy, I don't know what he's got. And you just don't. You have a bunch of younger guys. You got Hutchinson, who's with the broken leg. Yeah, he's not coming back. He's not going to be anywhere close to what he was, and you didn't give him any help. The guy from Ohio State you drafted last year is terrible. He was not an 8th pick either. So we'll see. The offensive tackle they added in the first round won't do any good. It's blocking. All they got to do is blitz, and they can't. Five guys can't pick up six, no matter how good the blocking is. All right, so tough one here, Green Bay, Minnesota. Probably tease the dog, Minnesota, if Murray plays well, and then you got Micah Parsons to worry about. All right, Washington goes to Philly. I got Philly -6. I got Daniels against Hurts. I like Daniels. I don't like Hurts. Daniels, will he be playing? Hopefully. He's really cool. He does well against Philadelphia. And then Hurts, he's a bum. He really can't throw very well. And now that he's not running, he's basically useless. I don't know what's going on with A.J. Brown. Where the hell is he? And we'll find that out. And then, it's all up to Daniels now. Washington, pretty weak defense. Philly, strong defense. Philly -6, depending on the quarterback. If it's Hurts and Daniels, I would like Washington in 12. If Daniels isn't playing and they got whoever the bum was, then probably go to Philadelphia under. Arizona goes to San Diego. I got San Diego -6. That's probably conservative. Brissett against Herbert. I think San Diego has pounds them pretty good this week. The San Diego defense. Arizona, what? Jeremiah Love? Yeah, he'll get 30 yards this game. Brissett is nothing. San Diego with the big defense. So the real matchup in the game is San Diego's defense shutting down this Arizona offense. Arizona has no defense, and even Herbert should have a big game. So, again, I think San Diego, this would probably be the game of the day here. Dallas goes to the Giants. Dak against Dart. I got Dallas -3 over the Giants, which, again, the Giants seem like they have good defensive help. Scatterboo should be back. Neighbors should be back. Dart, who knows? Give him 2 games, he'll get hurt again. You can't have a guy getting 5 concussions and rely on him. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback anyway. He wasn't at Ole Miss. All he did was run a lot. He's a good runner. He's not a quarterback. Dallas with Dak, he's more of a quarterback. He can run, but he's a good thrower, although sometimes you wonder what team it is. Pickens and Lamb are the difference in the game, and we got to see who Dallas's running back is. Scatterboo I really liked, and Neighbors from LSU. One of Bobby's guys. So I like that. I think I like the Giants as a home dog getting 9 in this one. Dart will run enough to that. I just think the Giants have the better defense. Scatterboo will get us some points. And, yeah, Dallas has the receivers, but who's their running back? So, in other words, when they get inside the 15, they're not going to be able to score because you need to run the ball in, and they don't have the runners. So we have to see who Dallas got. And then how's Dallas's defense? Is Bob Lilly back? Is Jethro Pugh back? And Randy White and Charlie Waters? So I don't know. The key to the game, who has the better defense? It looks like the Giants. In our last game, the Monday night game, beauty, Denver at Kansas City. I got KC laying 3. Bo Nix against Mahomes. Mahomes is better. Nix is very good. Defensive-wise, Denver is better than Kansas City. Since Kansas City let McDuffie go, which they didn't want to pay the big contract. However, they got Kelsey back, and he sucks unless he has a fabulous year. Now, the key for KC is they got Kenneth Walker. You got Mahomes, and now you've added Kenneth Walker. That's like Maris and Mantle. All of a sudden, you go, wait a minute. I got a cover for Mahomes, and I got Kenneth Walker running the ball. Holy Christ. KC's going to be very dangerous with Kenneth Walker, and we'll see what their defense. Usually it's pretty good. They did draft a corner, I believe. Denver, very solid team. Don't fuck with Denver. Great defense. More importantly, Sean Payton, the best coach in football by a mile. Yeah, Sean McVay. Yeah, Andy Reid's. I don't buy him. So I think you saw the real Andy Reid last year. Mahomes is like Belichick. Brady won the Super Bowls. Mahomes won the Super Bowls, not the coaches. Don't confuse that. So I got KC lane 3, but I like Denver and 9. Even possibly the under. I think KC turns into an under team. Very good defense, but they got Kenneth Walker, who's going to do a lot of running. And then Mahomes throws. Mahomes doesn't throw these when he had Kareem Hunt, or no, the receiver, Tyreek Hill. When he had Tyreek Hill, they were big, they were explosive. When they got rid of him, they've been nitpicking down the field, throwing to Kelsey when he catches it, or he muffs it for interceptions, drops a lot of passes. But it's a short offense. They're not really going and running. They're not a quick score team, maybe like Cincinnati. And they don't mean to be a quick score team. He throws the ball. Burrow throws it to Chase for 10 yards. He breaks the tackle and goes down the sidelines for 60 yards, and nobody can catch him. So they don't mean to be, but they got such great talent there. So keep in mind, Chase, they're all under contract, nobody holding out. If we're looking, okay, New England off the loss in the Super Bowl. I don't know that they're that good with Drake May. Seattle's going to take a step back. Look for the Rams to be very strong this year because they lost the Super Bowl, or they lost the championship game, and they're going to come back with fire in their eyes. Puka healthy, Stafford, look out. They did add some defense. Very good team, good coach. So look for the Rams this year. Look for Cincinnati. They've had some mediocre years. Look for them. They finally got rid of Hendrickson, who was, I think, a poison on the team. He didn't want to play. He's a crybaby. You can have him, Baltimore. I think they'll be better without him. They did draft some good defense. And, of course, you got Joe Burrow. So look for Cincinnati to really be strong this year. Look for the Bears to take another step. They did draft some defense, so I think the Bears will be a very good contender. They do have the tougher schedule. You'd like to say Houston, but the defense is great. It's CJ Stroud stinks. I mean, I'm calling it the way I see it, McMahon. I mean, that's just the way it is. He's not that good. He's not going to win you playoff games. In fact, he lost you the game in New England with his 4 fucking interceptions and his 2 pick sixes. You're not winning big games if this guy gets rattled and throws interceptions when you have the better defense. That was like that Joe Namath thing when the guy says, Joe, we're wearing green. We're wearing green this week. I love that one. Joe, we're wearing green. That's CJ Stroud. And what team are you throwing to? We're wearing red. You're throwing to the blue team. Let's see. So I think the Bears will be good. Buffalo, I don't know. They need a better defense. Minnesota could be a surprise if Kyler Murray plays. They have a very good defense. Green Bay with Micah Parsons, but they got Jordan Love. We'll see. Philadelphia, look for them to come back strong after a poor year last year. You know, they win the Super Bowl, so they have the talent. They don't have the quarterback, or I don't know who the offensive coordinator is, but we'll give them. You do have Jalen Carter, and that's enough. Dallas and the Giants. I think the Giants could be a little bit better, but they're all draft picks. And you got to keep in mind, how's Scadaboo going to be after the injury? Jackson Dart, what's he going to play? 3 games before he gets, 5 concussions this year? You can't rely on Dart. So who's their backup? Scadaboo's great. And Neighbors. So it's just, what do you do? How good is their defense? So whoever has the better defense between Dallas and the Giants, I look for them to be much better. And then Denver, KC, look for both of these teams to be very strong this year. This will be for the for the for the AFC West. Not the winner of this game because it's week 1, but that's the key. This is like Ohio State playing Texas last year. They have that big game the first week, and that's what this is. This is like, okay, they'll be more serious in the preseason. Kenneth Walker, Denver, a very strong defense, and Bo Nix is back, so look for Denver. Denver can make the Super Bowl. Kansas City, with the addition of Kenneth Walker, will be huge. And then how good is their defense? Losing McDuffie, and then Kelsey. I can't believe they signed him to another contract. He's terrible. And what's with the brother? I never heard of the brother before, and he's on all these commercials. And I'm like, okay, I'm not buying that product. I'm not buying this one. I'm not buying that one. Guy's an idiot. Oh, my God. All right, so that's week 1 of the NFL. And as I said, the only quarterback I don't know is the Jets's in Cleveland. And that's why they're the worst teams, because they don't have a quarterback. Baseball, I gave you Philadelphia and Tampa, Philadelphia under and Tampa. And then we don't know game 7 yet. A lot of times it's the home team that wins. I don't know that Oklahoma is going to lose at home, but you got to be careful with Winnebago. I think this game will be the closest of all, and we might actually see a 2, 3, 4-point game. Most of these seem to be 20-point games, and we'll see. So that is baseball, football, and basketball. I thought I saw an alligator. You have these wars. I think the U.S. is on its way out. I was listening to one guy today, and he's saying, well, the U.S. is all these European countries are going to print their money. Well, inflation is going to get high. Again, another guy that doesn't know what inflation is. It is not prices going up, morons. The oil price goes up because the supply of oil is going down, not inflation. The physical gold price, once we get one, goes up because of demand and a very low supply, not because of inflation. Yeah, Cocoa Puffs and Rice Krispies and Pop-Tarts go up because of inflation, if you let it. I'm noticing the fruits and veggies are a little bit more. Actually, the apples are down, but the broccoli and the cauliflower are a little more expensive. The red leaf lettuce did go up a little bit, but they're so minor for me. They're a couple dollar items that you don't care. When I see a sale, I go buy butter on sale or whatever. You just watch the sales and buy because you're going to eat it. And as long as it's in the fridge, you're fine. Listen to how quiet that is. I'm so excited. I need it quiet because I need to think, and I'm a big thinker. And when I'm hearing noises like the fridge, I can't think. So I can't. So now I got to wait till Monday to get this shit out. But it's amazing how narrow the halls are. I mean, I'm in the hall trying to put the fridge, and it's a tough. You had about this much room to walk sideways between the fridges, but at least they said Monday they'll pick it up. So good to know. Now I warned them 2 days ago that I was getting it on Friday, but anyway, I can much easier live with the fridge in my living room. It's really in a nowhere name. It's not near the TV. It's not near the kitchen. I can walk around it to get to the bathroom and get to the other. So it's really not a big deal. I've applied to use my bank account to pay rent, but they got to verify it. So they're going to put $1 in my account. So I can say, yes, I got $1.07. And then rent's due on the 1st. So that's coming, and it'll be nice to pay a lot less than I was paying. Again, why don't I have a house? Because I'm waiting for the housing market to crash. It's this close from crashing. And the biggest reason is people don't have the money. I don't know who that is. I don't really recognize the number. I'm going to let this go so I can leave a message. But some of these don't say spam. Okay, so let's see if they leave a message. If they leave a message, it's a real call. If they don't, it's a scam. Anyway, so I have that. So again, why is the housing market going to crash? Because as we know, what is a market? And we know prices vary in the market all the time. So what is the market for that? And we don't really know. So what do we see? We see, can people, as all the prices are going up, afford a big mortgage on their house? So, well, I can't afford a $500,000 house. I maybe lost my job, which is very common in that. Now they didn't leave a voicemail, so obviously it was bullshit. So that's the thing. People can't afford it. And if the prices get too expensive on the house, the prices come down, which is what we're going to see. Then add the money not being worth anything, and that's when gold comes in. So the dollar is gone. We know it's gone, and they're going to print more, which means it's worthless. So, yeah, maybe the prices go up for a minute because they're going to print more and more money, but it just makes it worthless. So this is the end, and then what happens is the prices fall. Like in Germany, the $100,000 $1,000,000 house went down to they said that you went down to like $100. So like $100,000 house went to 100 because the Reichsmark lost its value, and 5 ounces of gold would buy a big house. And that's what we're going to do here. The value is going to go to zero. The guy's going to want to sell it because he's going to need the money. So everybody's going to need the money as they keep breaking the dollar to zero. They keep killing it. And that's the problem. As you're killing the dollar, what are you going to, then what happens? And that's the problem. It goes out, right? It has no value. So why do you want it? Do you want a dollar with no value? You want something with value, and then you go to gold and silver. So the prices of everything go down because they're all priced in dollars. That's really the key to it. It's priced in dollars, not in gold and silver. So you're going to get a new gold and silver price. Don't get into crypto. It's not real. And again, those are priced in dollars too. Well, gold's priced in dollars. Gold doesn't need to be, and it shouldn't be priced in dollars. Gold will be priced in gold, and that's the difference. You can have the value of gold be gold. You cannot have a Bitcoin be a Bitcoin, because a Bitcoin is not real, and it has no value. It cannot have value. It's not backed by anything. The reason the dollar has value on the gold standard is because of the gold. So if the gold is the value, then if you have gold, that's your value. So the prices will drop in houses, and then in the gold and silver go up. So why buy a $500,000 house that's going to be basically worthless soon, and then I'll need the dollars? Now let's clear up hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is not when the prices accelerate and go up. These people still don't really understand what they're talking about when they talk about inflation or hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is when the market panics. So you start seeing prices go up, and milk goes up $1, and the next day it goes up $1 and you go, oh my God, and you get hyper. And that's what hyperinflation is the panic of the people who want to need to buy things, so they buy it before the price goes up. That's the whole idea. That's what hyperinflation is. It doesn't mean the prices are right now, the prices are going up, but the hyperinflation is the panic of the people buying it before the price goes up more. It's not really the price is going up is inflation. It's not even inflation. It's the market. The hyper causes the price. So in other words, you see eggs going up and you get hyper over it. I got to go buy it. I got to go buy it. And that pushes the price up. And the dollar loses value, also pushes the price up because the dollar has no value. But you're getting it won't happen to every product. 2-liter Coke. Are you going to get hyper over the Coke going up? Nah, who cares? It's $10 a bottle. Well, I won't buy that. How about it? Not going to buy that. So this is the problem. Not really. They don't really understand it. So we know the dollar is going to zero. It's already there. In my mind, it's worthless. Once it has no value, nobody wants it. So do you want $1? No, not worth anything. That's the end of it. We're this close. We understand it. Me and you, our class, we understand that the dollar's worthless. We don't want it. Therefore, we want gold and silver. We want Mantle cards. We want Rolexes. We want, well, we want real Picassos, not the Picassos I have on the ceiling. But that's the point of it. That's what we want. And that's what we're looking at. So it's we want real assets that are very limited and high demand, which is what I just named you. Mantle, the Picassos, the Rolexes, or other watches, things that are very limited, but there's demand for. Gold and silver, of course, those are the best because those are money. You can go to the store and you can't go buy a Rolex and take it to the restaurant and use it. And first of all, it's worth $30,000-$40,000. You're not going to pay for a $20 meal with it. And then you get into the Mantle card, same thing. He might, if it's graded, he might take it, but it's worth $80,000. So maybe you can buy a car with. Hard to say. But gold and silver they'll take because they realize it's real. They can feel it. They know what it is. And they understand the value. And we got to get away from these COMEX prices onto physical prices. I'm glad to see it jump today. Finally jumping, probably just to jump back to 4,900. But I'd love to see it at 5,000 already. We need to get into the 5,000s because that's not even close to the real value of gold and silver. And again, you cannot look at gold as, first of all, we're not getting a free market physical price of gold. We're getting a paper COMEX price of gold run by the bullion banks trying to keep the price down for whatever stupid reason they're trying to do it. And I was listening to somebody about prices in gold in different countries. Well, that's your own doing, this FX thing. Like a dollar's let's look at FX. So when we see this, I mean, this is a phony rate too, but if you're in Europe, your dollar will buy you 86 cents of a euro. It's not even 1-to-1, which makes no sense. But if we look at let's say we're in Hong Kong, it's $7. So our dollar buys us $7.84 Hong Kong. That's what the FX rate is. So because they have that, the value of gold. So if we look at gold, let's do this. So what is an ounce of gold in Russia? So we got gold at 45.71, having a nice day, but it's in US dollars. Let's move it to rubles. So $45.71 is it's 324,516 rubles. Okay, that's what gold is. See, it's up 5,000 rubles today. So it's 324,516. But this is the same as the 45.71 we're looking at in dollars, because once you do the FX on it, it all comes back to US dollars. Now, that doesn't have to be. You can have a price of gold in any country. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be US. It could be Chinese. It could be Russian, Japanese. It doesn't matter. You could use, but the price of gold, and then you need a conversion to get it back to US. So what is it in US dollars? Well, let's look at it in Chinese yuan. So let's assume China takes over, which they probably will. So it's 30,989 yuan. And the yuan is 7 to 1 for the, so $1 buys you 7 yuan. So it'd be 30,989 divided by 7, or whatever the FX, which would basically get you back to 4,571. That's what it's at. So it really doesn't matter who sets the price. You convert it back to your currency, because this is the mess they've created, where the different currencies are floating to each other. There's also a fixed exchange rate system that they're not using, which would be, well, okay, the dollar will buy you 3 yuan no matter what, and buy you 50 rubles no matter what, and Saudi dollars and Iranian dollars and Japan, and on and on and on. That's what that's the difference. But the reason is because all these currencies are backed by nothing. Because they're backed by nothing, it's as much as they print is the problem. So if we go to back to our FX, and let's take China. Let's keep it Chinese. That reminds me, I got Chinese food in the fridge. So $1 buys you 678 yuan because they print more. But if you notice, for some reason, the euro is 0.86 and the British pound is like 0.75. Funny how they're more valuable than the dollar. And then here's the yuan at 678. So what do we do? This doesn't have to be 6. This could be fixed. They all could be equal, and in gold they all will be. So all of the gold, the yuan to the ruble, let's do it. Let's do that. Should be even because they're now both gold backed. So look how it is. So 1 ruble buys you 0.0951. So it's a big difference. The ruble, they really print the hell out of. But there's the new ruble and the new one are gold backed. So they should be the same. So how do you come up with a gold price? Right now it's in dollars. It doesn't need to be. It can be in anything. But you need something to say the gold is worth something. Whatever that, it doesn't even need to be a currency as long as you tie the currencies to it. So it could be gold is $25,000, 25,000, not even dollars, just 25,000. And then the yuan gets attached to it. Okay, so the yuan is 4 times, so it's 100,000 yuan, and then convert that to rubles or convert that to dollars, or you're just taking the 25,000 for an ounce of gold in whatever your currency is. That's why it's important to have a gold-backed currency. That's why it was so, the world became so strong in the 1800s because everybody was on the gold standard. And that worked fine. You had very few wars. I mean, just the Civil War, which was about tariffs, selling the cotton to Britain, and New York wanted to put a tariff on it. And of course, the South didn't want the tariff because they're saying, "Fuck, we don't want to make it more expensive to buy it. They're the ones buying it. We're making a fortune on selling our cotton. The last thing we want to do is put a tariff on it." The North wanted the tariff for the tax, and that's why you went to war. Really, that's why you went to war, was that, not slavery or anything else. They might have ended slavery then, but that was probably just to use more people in the army, I guess. So you can see the differences. Each of these currencies have different values. Why? Because they print a little different. I don't know why they don't buy the same. This is the problem we have. So because the US dollar is the one setting the price, it's always the dollar versus the yuan versus the ruble versus the British pound versus the euro. And so this is a mess because nobody knows what any of the values are. So right now, gold's priced in dollars. Gold should be much higher. And once we get a free market for gold, the question is, what are we going to value it? And then if we're in the US, how does our dollar buy their stuff? That's basically it, right? So the US dollar versus China's yuan. China has a new yuan backed by gold. So this is where you're at with it. So the real price in gold, we're going to have to figure out in what. That's why your house, $500,000, will go to zero because the dollar won't have a value because nobody will want it because these idiots are printing too much of it, which is going to happen all over the world. They're going to be printing and printing, and it won't have values. And again, hyperinflation is not because the prices are going up. It's because people are emotionally going, I got to buy. And then they keep raising the price because the dollar has no value. And that's the hyper, not just prices going up. It's the people. Because like I said, Coca-Cola could go to $20 a bottle. Nobody can give a fuck. I won't buy it. I don't need to buy 2-liter pop. I can buy 2-liter water. So that'll be the difference. But inflation is not prices. It's the dollar going to zero, and then it needs more dollars to buy it. And certain items are inflation, and certain ones like oil and gold and silver are not inflation. They're not priced by inflation. They're priced by the market. Everything will be priced by the market. So instead of getting hyper about buying milk, you just don't buy it because it's too expensive. So that's the problem. But the house will come down because nobody can afford it. They're going to say, it's too expensive. And then if I'm trying to sell into the market, like the Toyota Camry, right? I'm trying to sell it at 35. Nobody wants it. They want to spend 25 because that's what it's been. If the guy sells his ribs at 45 and nobody wants it, So even though the price goes up, if there's no market for it, the price won't stay. So the $500,000 house, everybody's like, I can't afford it. I don't want it. And then it becomes a 400 and then a 300 and then a $200,000 house. And then they'll call it the market crashing. And we're going, no, it's just, there is no market there. This is the market. $500,000 house. There's nobody there. Let's get to 4. Nobody there. Maybe at 3, there's people. Maybe it's 100,000 where the market is. This we don't know. But anybody holding it on like they think they're going to make money on the house is crazy, because the house will go to zero. The dollar will go out. That's for sure. The Titanic will sink. That's for sure. So be very careful when these morons talk about hyperinflation. They don't know what it is. I thought I saw something by this was a scary one. The Rockefellers wrote the curriculum for every public school system. They're a bank. Why are they involved in setting it? I thought the government said it. Anyway, where was that? So I don't like this guy's a colonel. He's not an economist. And when he starts talking about economics, he really doesn't, Ray Dalio. Yeah, I don't think so. So there was one I saw with alligator. I don't like this guy at all. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's one of these salesmen. He's one of these salesmen that just doesn't get it. So be careful. The only Von Greyer's, the only guy you want to listen to on that is Egon, not his lackeys. No, I don't know. Yeah. Larry Bird asked if he likes Bill Laimbeer. That'd be a funny one. Well, I don't see where this Alistair McLeod went to. Don't waste your time with Alligator McLeod. He's got this idiot woman on. This Lynette Zhang, she's an idiot. She's a stockbroker. She has no idea what she's talking about. It's just a waste of time. She sells gold, so she tries to come off like she knows it. She's one of these, they hear something and they take, oh, I know it. No, you don't know it. Like if you heard me say talking, the value is gone in the dollar, I know it. But if you then try to say that you know it, you don't know it. You don't know enough about it. You're not skilled enough in it to say that, but I know it. I'm the one who knows the dollar's worthless, not you. You can say it, but you don't know it. You don't really understand the why unless you're really good at listening to my class. But, these people that take what I say, but they don't really understand it. Egon even said to me, or said that, Egon said, inflation is not the prices going up, it's the value of the dollar going down. And it's exactly what I said. So he's listening and then he's using it on his own. But does he understand why? And I prove it every day I'm on here. I give you the proofs. And You can't print it. It has no value. It goes down. And when nobody wants it is when it's out. So, but the problem is people still think the dollar has value and they're looking at the stock market. I looked at, I was at the gym and they had on like on one of these stations, Fox News or something, and Trump has like $1 billion in cryptocurrency. Doesn't realize it's worthless, but he's got $1 billion in crypto. And again, he doesn't understand it, but he thinks he does, and he's going to lose $1 billion because when the dollar goes out, how are you going to price it? Yeah, I guess Bitcoin goes to zero because it can't have a price because it's not real. So instead of putting it into gold, he's got it into Bitcoin, supposedly, or in the crypto. So it's a very, he's going to lose his ass. Anyway, just keep that in mind. Gold is the only play. We know this because you can't print it. It can't lose its value. The dollar, the euro, these babies here. Yeah, it's the bye-bye blues for them. It's the €5. They keep printing. They keep for the Social Security. They keep printing for their debt. They have debt too. They keep printing for their government employees. You can't just print money out of thin air and think it has a value. So really what you understand is the money has no value. But how many people realize that? You see 100, you go, oh, it's worth 100. Even though it has no value, you see the 100 and you go, okay, it's got 100. And that's the key to it. So that's really what you're looking at, is understanding it's not backed by anything. It keeps getting printed. They have to keep printing it. They can't sell their treasuries. Nobody wants it. And that's really the first sign of there's no demand for the dollar. Because if you had demand for the dollar, you'd buy the treasuries and go, oh, I got a U.S. treasury and it's 4% and it's great, but it's not. You really don't have there is no demand for the treasury, so you have no demand for it. And therefore, it's worthless. And therefore, why do you want to hold something that's worthless? That's why you get into gold and silver. When is gold and silver worthless? It's never been worthless. That's what, these guys try to say. It's been around for 5,000 years. Well, what they really mean is it's held its value for 5,000 years because you can't print it. You can only dig it out of the ground. And that's what and then it has value because of it. And there's always strong demand for gold. I mean, we're looking at the Romans had strong demand for gold and silver. All the way through the Nazis, Hitler, strong demand for gold and silver. So it's always a strong demand, and it's strong demand because A, it's pretty, but B, you can't print it. So it's very limited in supply, which is what keeps its value. And that's why it's a double attraction. It's pretty, but you can't print it, so it can't lose its value. So what do I want to be in? This bullshit dollars, or get into gold that keeps its value, not something that can get printed to death. So that's really the biggest point in economics we understand. Even though it says 100 on the dollar, and we can go to Kroger's with it, and we can go to the Chinese, and we can go to the barbecue, it doesn't matter. It's still worthless, even though they'll take it. It's like the house before the fire. The fire is coming, and we need fire insurance, but it hasn't burnt down yet. So this is kind of the answer you guys got to give. Like, well, I have fire insurance. Yeah, but it hasn't burnt down yet. Well, that doesn't mean you get rid of your fire insurance. Well, it won't catch fire. Well, yeah, but you have the insurance in case it does. That's the point of it. And that's what you're doing here. You have to have this insurance to take care of it. And that's basically what you're doing. So gold is the insurance, but the insurance is getting more and more valuable. There's more and more demand for it. So in a market, if there's a lot of demand, price goes up. Gold and silver. In a market where there's no demand, the price goes down. And when you print too much of it, the price goes down. That's like you see oranges on sale because they got 1 million oranges. The crop came in and they bought it all and they're selling it for 69 cents instead of $2 or $3 because the supply got too big, and to generate demand, they lower the price. So that's where we are with gold and silver. You can't lose with it. It's going up and up and up. And you just go from there. I mean, that's basically the bottom line. What a silent refrigerator. I'm so excited. I got to wait till Monday to get this out, but at least I can kind of move it out. Anyway, so I see Daria on today, and I go, "Hello, I see you on, but obviously you can't text me because of all this activity in Russia. Uh, Ukraine bombed a dormitory in somewhere in Russia. I don't know where. I don't think it was in Moscow or that. So, like, 21 girls got killed by a drone in a fucking dormitory. Like, are you kidding me? What is this shit? Let's attack college students. Trump's lost his mind. I mean, it's what the fuck are you doing? So this is the end, right? So this war is ending soon because Russia's getting pissed. You've taken out, you've put a drone in their airport. It closed down the Moscow airport, and now you're going after. So Putin's like, okay, fuck off. No more Mr. Nice Guy. He hasn't been nice. He just doesn't want an all-out war. He figures, okay, we beat Ukraine and they're not surrendering and they're just going to keep going. They're mad like Hitler. Hitler, at the end of the war, would not surrender. He kept, we're Germany, we don't surrender. And he kept going. And that's why eventually Russia went all the way to Berlin and the US went all the way to Berlin, and they blew up the city. And that was, okay, you surrender now? Like, you got nothing left. And that's basically what Russia's forced to do here. They've won the war, but they can't, nobody will surrender. Nobody will negotiate with them. So they're going to take out Kiev, and they've had this warning. If you're in Kiev, get the hell out. So like the US embassy or any of these embassies that are in Kiev or any government employees are saying, get out. We're going to nuke it. So get out. Because people don't think Russia will nuke, but they will, but they don't want to. But why would you provoke them to doing that? I don't get this whole everybody hates Russia. I assume that everybody's broke and they want to steal their gold, silver, and oil and natural gas. They have all the resources, so people want to steal it. I mean, it's up to Russia to defend, not losing their resource. So I think that's really why everybody hates Russia, is they got all the gold, silver, natural resources, gas, oil. So that's what you have. This other war with Iran. I don't know what the U.S. I don't get why, and I don't. Why is there a war? And Trump thought it would take 2 days, and then Trump's going to say he won. He'll figure out something. Oh, we got rid of their Navy. They didn't have a Navy. They had 3 guys in speedboats. They're in a desert. They don't have a Navy. Well, we got rid of their Air Force. They don't have an Air Force. Trump the wise. So we're dealing with this idiot. Meanwhile, they keep printing money and keep printing money and keep printing money to pay for the war, and their money's worthless. So people will take the money, but they don't realize it doesn't have a value. So all these baseball players and all these athletes in major league sports, they don't know what they're getting into. They signed this big contract. It isn't worth anything. If you don't buy gold and silver, fellas, it's not gonna have a value. You can have 50 million monopoly money, is still zero. $1 billion is still zero if it's in zero. Only the wise guys will buy gold and silver with it. Buy a Rolex, buy a Picasso, buy some value, and don't buy a house. Wait till the prices go down, because there's no market. Again, the housing market is here. And you got $500,000 houses selling to ghosts, or maybe AI can buy them. And again, the biggest problem with AI, as you get rid of your people, your quality of your company goes down. I know Best Buy, I got an email and I called them yesterday. And I'm like, are they going to take this out of the box and plug it in or not? Because that's what I was told. But I couldn't ask AI that. I had to say, give me an agent and talk to somebody. But they want you to talk to AI. Fuck AI. AI couldn't answer any of those questions. And this is the problem with AI. So people are seeing it as cost cutting are a bunch of idiots. These are the same GMs that think you need a running quarterback and let's have a guy get a 12 pitch at bat. That's good. That's how stupid these people are. They're a bunch of idiots that don't know what they're doing. And it's all going to blow up. All these companies are going to go out because AI is not the answer. Oh, well, it'll cut costs. I can lay off employees. Okay, Mr. Gates, let's see. So you cut all your staff and you have AI. Who's going to buy your product? Because you're not paying AI, and AI ain't shopping. AI is not going to Kroger's to buy milk and cookies. We are. So if you just have AI, they don't shop. So you're missing the other half of the equation. They're not going to buy a car. They're not going to buy a motorcycle. They're going to buy glasses and sweatshirts and stuff. They're not going to rent apartments and buy houses. You're not going to have an economy. So you're too smart for your own good. Just like Vegas. Oh, let's have resort fees and parking fees, and let's charge $30 for a hot dog and $25 for a beer. And then they wonder where's everybody. See, I think they're making a lot of money on their BetMGM apps and stuff, on their gambling. I think they make a lot there, but I don't know why they want to ruin Vegas. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what they're doing. Well, you'll just play online. No, I don't want to play online. I want to play live in the casino. I want to get the feel of the lights and the pretty colors and everything. And I noticed these carpets are ugly as shit. There used to be a pattern. They'd paint things whatever color, and that would make you gamble more. The carpets would make you gamble more. Now all that shit makes you want to leave the casino. It's pathetic. So I don't know. I usually want to go to Vegas Labor Day weekend, starts football, but I don't really have a desire now. Who knows if we can fly there? Apparently, our oil inventory is only good through July, and we're going to have a big shortage of oil, and the price will go to the moon. Will that drive up our gold? Maybe, because the dollar will have no value. So everybody will pile in the gold. This we have to see. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start selling oil in gold. Saudi Arabia is doing it now. I'm not sure if Russia is, but China's buying it in gold because their dollar, you can change their dollar to gold. So I'm sure Saudi, they talk petrodollar. They don't even know what they're talking about. Nobody who gets even if everybody used the US dollar to buy oil, Saudi Arabia is not going to buy treasuries. They're going to buy gold with it. And all these other countries, and they're taking yuan. So I don't know what they're talking about. The petrodollar is dead. It was a way to sell your treasuries to Saudi Arabia because the dollar was worthless to them. But anyway, so that's what's going on. Let's check our gold and silver, see where we're at with it. Well, it's at 30,944. Oh yeah, wait, that's the yuan. Let's change it back to good old USD. And it's 45.65. But even in yuan, it's 45.65. If you would convert the Chinese to US, you'd still get back to 45.65. Silver at 75.77. Silver is extremely low. Gold 45.65. At least it's got back over 43, over 44. And now it's getting more. We need it back. We need it back at 5,000. They keep fighting it. But like I showed you yesterday on the oil thing, and they're holding oil at $89 a barrel. However, it's paper. And when the demand for real physical oil hits, it's going to be $100, $150, $200 a barrel, not the 89. So that's what they're doing in gold. Once the demand for gold is there and you can't use options anymore, that's when gold hits 10, 20,000 and silver goes to 1,000 is when you just pass on the mark on the COMEX. Because people need it, they're going to pay what the market is. When people need gold and silver, they are going to pay what the market says, not what COMEX says. So right now they're still playing this game, but that'll end soon. And I think that's it. Anything else? Anybody? Bueller, McFly, anybody? Questions, comments? All right, so I've given you baseball. Take Philly under 8. 2 very good pitchers. Philly, the Dodgers. Tampa Bay, we are taking, even though they're on the streak, I didn't notice it, but it doesn't matter. I have the ace going. So obviously he hasn't pitched 4 days before when they lost. So let's see if you can beat the ace. I don't mean to contradict myself as far as bet the streak. Now, it might have cost me. I might have bet whoever Tampa Bay is playing, I might have bet that team. But here I got the ace. So that's where it runs into a problem. So I'm going to stick with Tampa and then Philly under. And that's it. I haven't decided yet for NBA tomorrow. It's a tough call because both teams need it. And then it becomes who's got the better defense. And they both have good defenses. You got Winnebago and against Shea. Winnebago is so much better than Shea. Oklahoma will be strong at home. We'll see. It'll be a good – then it becomes San Antonio's other players besides that. So it's like Scanes. They pitched 100 pitches in 5 innings, and now it's up to the bullpen to save it, right? And I think that's what you got there. So anyway, 45-68 gold, 75-76 silver. Take Philly under 8. Take Tampa Bay. Have a good one. That's about it. So the fridge Monday morning goes out, and that's it. So it's a little cooler here. I'm going to have my lunch. I got Chinese last night. I picked up Alyssa, and there's a good Chinese buyer, but I'd already eaten, so I really just kind of carried it out. And so I'll have some today. And that's it. So I got my new fridge, and it fit everything I had in my old fridge. The fridge itself is fine. The freezer, I have to adjust a little, but I think I can make room to put, if I got a container of ice cream. If I buy my ice cream bars, to stick the 3 bars in is fine. That's no problem. And I won't get any more chicken, and I won't get any more burger. I took out a chicken to defrost to cook. And then I'll probably have steak tomorrow, being Saturday. I like doing that. And then Sunday I like to maybe go to barbecue or something. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Anything with you guys? Nobody? All right. Have a good day. Understand, you cannot print the money to zero, which is what you've done. Overprinting, oversupply kills price. The price of the dollar is gone in real world, not in this stupid COMEX FX bullshit. So understand that. How can it be worth it? So you want your money in something with value, not something without. That's why you buy gold and silver. Now, if you got enough gold and silver, let's say you get 100 ounces of gold, then maybe you buy a Mantle card. But you really could buy the Mantle rookie with the gold. Then you'll buy the Mantle rookie that you wanted. The gold will be very powerful and worth a lot, as will silver, because people will take it. People won't take Bitcoin because they don't understand it and it's priced in dollars. But gold, I don't need anything for the gold to have value. And so they will always want the gold. So you can trade the gold to the grocery store, and the grocery store will then, yes, I can use the gold to buy more groceries or at the restaurant. I can use silver right now for the barbecue place. He'll take it because he can then use the silver, and he knows the silver has value, and he knows the dollar doesn't because I've taught him. So right now they take credit cards to make the money, and then as far as I can see, they take that profit and they go buy gold and silver with it because they know it won't lose value. And that's probably the key to this whole thing, the whole system. The dollar has no value, and gold and silver can never lose value because it's so limited and everybody wants it and it's huge demand. And that's the key to it. But your Bitcoin, get the fuck out. There's no value in Bitcoin. It's not real. And neither is, any of the digital currencies. It's just a scam to think something digital has a value. Like I say, I'll buy a digital steak. Well, I'm hungry. I want to eat it. Well, but it's not real. It's digital. And so what are you going to do with your money? The Bitcoin, it's not real. Nobody's going to want it. So anyway, keep that in mind. Otherwise, there's nothing to watch on Mark McGuire this week. Lynette Zhang, she's an idiot. She's a stockbroker. Doesn't really understand anything. She promotes gold because she sells gold now. I think she's got a company, and I'm laughing my ass off. How can this idiot have an investment firm or something, right? She doesn't know what she's doing, but she's listened to me, so she knows gold and silver is the right play. So, even a blind squirrel can find an acorn once in a while. Go into gold and silver. I don't know why, but go into it. So anyway, keep that in mind. Be careful who you listen to out there. Most of them are idiots. And I'll show you one other guy to keep away from. So this channel, be careful. I don't really like her, and this Alex Craner really doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't understand inflation or hyperinflation. So he doesn't get what's going on, but you might listen to him and get wrong information, which I don't want you to get. This was a good one. I do recommend. Karen, God knows, Kawasaki prepares bigger strike on Iran. She's actually very good. Maybe I'll play her tomorrow.
It takes 90 seconds for this NASA-engineered AC cool down your room. It's smaller than a toaster, cools any room in 90 seconds, and uses just a fraction of the energy of a regular.
Colonel Karen, welcome here, my dear friend.
She's very good. I'll play this tomorrow. But she's very good, so we'll watch that tomorrow. But basically, you've got a bunch of morons running the world who are not qualified to run the world, just like they're not qualified to handle the money. They're not qualified to run the world. It's a lot of mafia running everything now. They're doing things that make no sense. They're not using Congress. And anyway, she's pretty good. So we'll talk about her tomorrow. Anyway, that's it. www.teaserking.com. You want to buy a week of baseball, $25. You can't beat it. That's it for the whole week. And I've been red hot. Just about every day I win. Yesterday was I broke even, but there was only 5 games. No, there was 6 games. 1, 2, 3. No, there was 5 games. I had 2 winners, 2 losers, and a tie. +7 before, +10 before, +5. So it was a very good week. I do pick a lot of games, but I end up winning. So I pick 10 games, I'll win like 7 and lose 3. But I pick all 10 because they're good plays. But just depend on your bankroll. Bet $25 a game. You make a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, and it adds up over time. Anyway, that's about it. Time for lunch, time for the pool. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. www.teaserking.com. All right. Take care.